Welcome, creative friends. Today I'm going to show you how I made homemade spackle for Jasmine's house. I'm going to be using cornstarch, baking soda, and my homemade glue. I just put a normal quantity, I didn't measure anything, and breaking up the clumps, and now I'm putting double the quantity of cornstarch. I'm going to mix them together very well, and then I'm going to add my homemade glue. If you haven't seen how I made the glue, I will put a link down in the description. It saves a lot of money to make your own glue. Now mix it up real good. This is the consistency that I came up with. Of course, if you want it thicker, just add more cornstarch or baking soda. Here I'm just drilling a hole because if you remember the lights or the fairy lights that I put under the stairs, well, I still had 5 or 6 more bulbs left, so I decided to put them in this room. I just string it through the hole that I made, and then I'm going to be taping it onto the walls. If you remember when I first built this house, I told you that I made these lines to tell me exactly where I wanted the wall to end and the next floor to begin. And that's the line that I'm using for reference. Now I'm spreading it on, and it was a little bit watery, but I thought, well, when it dries, I might put another coat over it or something. I wasn't really sure first time I do this, so I'm trying everything. And after I put it on, I decided, well, I want it to be the same like spackle. So I got a piece of foil, crumbled it up, and started smacking it. But this time, when I did this, it was already half dry, so none of the spackle that I made would be sticking to the foil. Just to crunch it in and make that little design. But then I noticed that it started to crack when it dried. So I came back and added, I think it was like 1 toilet paper sheet, but I think I needed to use more. It was better, but more is better. I think maybe 2 or 3 sheets. But make mistakes and then we learn. So you see the difference? The one on the right, the cracks are really separated. And the one where I put the toilet paper, you can see little threads between the cracks. It's like the fibers are trying to hold it together, but apparently I didn't put enough fibers. So if you're going to be making this spackle, I would suggest adding more tissue paper, or toilet paper, sorry. So how did I fix that problem? I wanted to paint them, so I used yellow and the cashmere tan, mixing them together because I didn't want that real bright yellow. And then I added some of my spackle, like 2 scoops of this spatula. And I mixed it really well with my paint. And I added a little bit more yellow because it turned out to be too dark for my taste. Like, I didn't want it to be really dark mustard. I wanted it to be light mustard color. and I painted over it 2 layers, and this is how it looks. All the cracks have disappeared and the color looks perfect, and the exact same effect that I really wanted. Here I'm mixing green, yellow, and of course I put some of the spackle, hunter green and daffodil yellow. And this is how it looks after I painted that one. Now I like the green more. And I put the lights on, and the middle one just went dark. I don't know what happened. So I can't do anything with it now, so I'm just gonna have to leave it like it is. Now if you remember at the beginning of when we built the house, I had the frames for the outside. Well, now I want to put them inside. This is just a pattern, but because the house is circular, the inside is smaller than the outside, so I had to pinch it a little bit to make it a little bit tighter to fit. And I did the same with the windows and the second door, just to make them fit properly. I didn't count for that, but you learn something new every day. Here's the first frame. Cheerios cereal, all sanded, and I painted it all black, and then I painted it the same color as the doors. Can't remember now what the name of that color is. And putting some glue on it, and I'm going to glue it in place. Oh, and I did, with my stylus pen, put some wood carvings in it. Sorry I didn't show that. I thought I was filming. It turned out I wasn't. These are the window frames. I painted them with the dollar store furniture pins, and I made a couple of rectangles and cut them into triangles to be a support for the shelves that I'm going to be putting under the windows. And if you notice, the shelves, they're not a rectangle because the walls are rounded, so I had to cut around a little bit until each one of them fit under the window. Because the window sill or window shelf isn't the same size, I had to, play around with the size a little bit to get one to fit on each side. I gave the shelves a black coat first, and now I'm using a very light green. And because I noticed there's a little bit of a ledge or opening between the window and the shelf that I made, so I got some of my cold porcelain and turned it into a little tube and just filled in the space. I want it to look like it's one piece, the shelf. Sorry my hand's in the way, but I was just squishing it with my tool. There. And now for the other window. I'm not worried about it going onto the window. I'm gonna paint that and fix it up later. Here I'm going to be doing some dry brushing with a lighter green. And I used the same green on the other room. And now I'm going to Mod Podge everything to seal it in and protect it. I'm using brown and black pastels to just age all around the door and the windows and anywhere I think it should look a little bit aged. I'm going to be putting it on. Thank you for watching. I hope you leave a comment down below. I really like to hear from you. See you next time. Bye.